Hi everyone, and welcome to Tricky Thursdays with JINS. My name is Laura, your nursery manager here at JINS Al Safa. I've been in education and leadership since 2008, and I'm delighted to live and reside here in the UAE. The UAE has become my true home, and I love everything about the culture here. Today, we're going to answer some of your tricky questions and find out how can we help you, what can we do, and let's plan some strategies together. Something that I'd like to take time at this moment to do is to congratulate all of you parents working through lockdown with a child at home. Congratulations to the parents that have new lockdown babies. All of the mummies and daddies doing everything they can to help their children whilst managing everything else in the household. I'm going to pass yours over to our general manager of the nurseries, Miss Samina.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our Tricky Thursdays. I'm Samina Kanyari, the General Manager for Jumeirah International Nurseries. Tricky Thursdays is to provide you tricks and tips to support you and your little ones in a range of situations. Being a mom of two, 20-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son, I've had experience of seeing the various stages of growing up with my children, and it has had its challenges because children are complex beings who metamorphosize into simple adults as they grow along, not vice versa. Also, being an early years educator now for 17 years, I've seen children from birth to 5 years learn at an unmatched speed compared to the rest of their lives. Statistics shows that 85% of the brain develops during these formative years where crucial brain connections are formed. In our Tricky Thursday session today, we're here to support you in understanding your child and show you simple ways to cope, manage, to take care of your little ones. Before we address many questions that have come our way, I would like to welcome our moderators, Regine, Christina, and Mohammed, and thank you for helping out on this session. I am going to take today's first question, which is, how can I keep my 1-year-old stimulated at home until he or she starts the nursery? It can be very hard to think on your feet of how to support your 1-year-old, and you're not alone. 1-year-olds can be hard work, especially as they are coming out of infancy phase and turning into little learners who just want to explore. A few ways that you can boost your 1-year-olds growing up and giving them a well-rounded experience is to provide activities covering the basic areas of development, like 1, the personal, social, emotional development, 2, communication and language, and 3, physical development. Let's unpack these. A few of the many simple ways that you can support PSED like we do at our nurseries is that for your 1-year-old, use photographs. Make a peekaboo puzzles with family and friends photos. This will help them identify and build relationships. Make a mugshot memory game. Take close-up pictures of all the important people in your children's life and get double prints, and you've got a set of matching cards to play with. Name and identify your children's emotions. If your child is crying, you can offer a frown while saying, "You seem so upset, let me help you." Or, "I can see a big smile on your face, you are so happy today." Teach children cause and effect. Every little cue matters. Announce, "I'm going to turn on the light now," before flipping the switch. And by doing so, you're teaching your children cause and effect. This helps them gauge that things happen when you try to push, pull, or pull things. Play with mirrors. It's an amazing way to capture expressions, and it's very fulfilling to watch. Let's look at the physical development and how do you support the large and fine motor skills of your 1-year-old, whether they are walking or they're still crawling. Use big boxes. They make great toys. Cut holes in the sides and windows and doors. play, follow the leader, move around the house at varying speeds, crawl, depending upon what stage of development your child is. And to make this play more exciting, add tunnels and throw a bed sheet or over a sofa or over the dining table chairs and crawl with them through these spaces. Build an obstacle course using sofa cushions, pillows, boxes, and show your baby to crawl over, through, under, over. However, if you're one of those types who do not like things to be put out of place, crawl and walk around these things and use imaginative play and say, you need to save yourself from the big sharks or big whales, or simply be a playground and lie on the floor. Let your baby climb and crawl over you. It'll boost coordination and help solve problems. While the weather is still lovely, enjoy these view walks and talk to your children. And this helps build endless vocabulary. And it's a great opportunity while you're walking, talk to them about the beautiful trees that you're seeing or the cars and the noises that you hear. Practice dumping and filling objects. It's a great way of letting your children enjoy various objects and various items that you have in your common household. Do action rhymes, itsy bitsy spider, wheels in the bus, or if you can stand the Baby Shark song, emphasize on be a role model in doing the actions. Bath time is fun. Give your child a sponge and ask them to develop their fine motor skills, to clean and speak as you go along, to do their tummy, shoulder, belly button. Play throw and catch and roll. And or the easiest one is use strips of tape to place different and let your toddler peel and stick it at places where they can be challenged. For communication and development, read books of all sorts. And scientists have found that babies as young as 8 months can learn and recognize the sequence of words in a story when it's read 2 or 3 times. Turn up the talk and go ahead and have a rant with short pauses. You'll be amazed when you pause and your baby will speak. But last of all, don't forget to give it a rest. Spend a few minutes each day simply sitting on the floor with your baby. No music, no bright lights or playful tricks. Let them explore and see where they take you. There are many ways of these activities. These are some of the ways that you can do activities with your 1-year-olds. I hope this has helped. And now I'm going to pass it to Laura to answer the next question.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so my next question links very much to Miss Samina's last statements of turn those lights off. One of our viewers has asked, how can I help my toddler fall asleep at night without me being next to them? It's really important that your child spends a lot of time close to you. And one day, I guarantee, you'll be the one asking them, come, come. You'll be the one saying, I'd like a hug. Won't you sit with me? Those moments, the last hug or the last time they lay in your bed, they're very bittersweet. So cherish them, but let me help you. I know that you want a bit more than 40 winks, so I'm going to give you some tips and strategies from my experience. So the first thing that you need to do is make sure that your bedtime routine is set. Make sure that you're eating your evening meal at around the same time every night. Make sure that your child has their favorite blanket, their favorite comforter, and that the room that they're going to sleep in is set for them. Make sure teeth are brushed. Make sure you've had your bedtime shower or your bath. Favorite pajamas are worn and you're ready to go to sleep. When that's all set, we're going to start with stage 1. Stage 1, mummies and daddies, involves you still being there. Your child won't be able to instantly separate from you and sleep in their own bed, especially if they've been used to that. Much like ourselves, when we're learning to do something independently, friends, colleagues, or relatives, they give us tips. So what I suggest is go with your child into the room. Now, this might be your room initially, or the child's bedroom. It depends on their age and it depends on your housing situation. But what I'm asking you to do is go and lay with them on the floor. So next to the side of the bed or the crib, place a mattress, place some cushions, and sit with them on the floor or lay with them. Don't try to get into their bed, you won't fit. But what I want is I want you close to your child. Close so that you can reach their hand, close so you can give them a comforting stroke, close so that you can play with their hair. You know the tips and tricks that make your child feel comfort. And that's exactly how this journey has to begin, with comfort. Your child needs to feel excited and settled, ready to go to sleep. In stage 1, you stay with them. You stay with them until they fall asleep. Now, there might be tears, there might be tantrums, there might be screams, but you have to be the constant. Give them the support. Tell them how proud you are that they're laying in their bed, how proud you are that they're closing their eyes, how proud you are that they're snuggling up to sleep. And when they wake up, you're going to be telling them how proud you are they slept by themselves. You need to iterate that they did sleep by themselves, even though you were close by. The reason that your child doesn't want to be without you is because you offer the warm, nourishing love. And who doesn't want that? Who amongst us misses their spouse when they're not in the bed, your husband or your wife? Your child feels the same. So what we ask you to do is stay with them. Now, I'd like you to continue doing this for about 1 or 2 weeks. Keep doing it until your child gets used to the strategy that they get into their bed or you put them into their bed and you're close by them. It will be very tempting to run off and do laundry or run off and in a dream world go and watch some Netflix, but please don't. Stay with them until they're securely fallen asleep. Then we're going to move to stage 2. So by about week 2 or week 3, you can move on. What you're going to do is set a baby camera in the room and talk to your child about it. Tell your child that this camera allows you to watch them and be with them while you're doing different jobs in the house. Tell them what you're going to be going to do. So your camera faces the child and the child knows all about the camera and understands that you can see them at any time. Once you've got the idea of the camera successfully implemented with your child, then you need to wait till your child is sleepy, drowsy, when their eyes are closing. Now start to tell them, I'm going to go downstairs now. Mummy's got some special jobs to do. Mummy's going to come and check on you, or Daddy. We're going to check that you're okay, that you're safe. We'll come back and see you when you're sleeping. I'm excited to hear about the dreams you're going to have. You've got to be on the journey with your child. You've got to help them understand that the sleep is a wonderful thing and you're going to be proud of them. And they're going to be able to say, Mummy, I slept the whole night. Teacher, I slept in my bed. Once you've got this stage and your child settles and you've been able to step away and go downstairs, for example, your child might wake, they might cry. Go back to them, reassure them, comfort them. You might go back between stages 1 and 2 several times. Once you've got stage 2 sorted and your child is sleeping after some time with you, after you've stepped away, you're ready for stage 3. Stage 3 is the time that we're all looking forward to. So we take our child to the bed, we talk to them, we soothe them, we tell them about the dreams that they're going to have. We tell them how proud we're going to be that they're sleeping in their own bed. And then we step away. We keep the camera in place. But we're stepping back to make sure our children, we've given them all the reassurance, but our children need to know we're still here in the house. Often when you leave your child is not aware of what you're going to do. They might think you're going out. You might think that you're leaving them. Tell them, Daddy has jobs to do or Mummy has things to do, but we'll be checking on you. So the whole cycle involves that comfort, reassurance, and love. It's the same security as the child feels in your bed and close to you, but it's coming from you teaching them, and slowly you will learn together. You might need to go through all of the stages, and this whole sleep cycle might take you 3 months or longer, but that's okay, because when you've got it sorted, when you've secured your nighttime routine, it's secured for the future years. You have to recognize that sometimes your child will need you in the middle of the night because of a bad dream, because maybe they need to go to the washroom, and those things are very normal and you must be there. But your sleep cycle, if you follow my steps, is going to be very smooth and very secure. We're going to pass now to Miss Amina, and she's going to support us with the next tricky trip question.
Thank you, Laura, for sharing that insight. A lot of steps to follow, but I'm sure they'll get their children into bed by following that routine. The next question that we have is how to tame a 2-year-old who doesn't respond to no, who doesn't listen to instructions. Oh dear. As children grow, they understand that their actions matter and they can make things happen. This allows them to make their imprint on the world and assert themselves in a way that they didn't do before when they were a baby. However, due to limited language, they choose not to listen. Few strategies that will support your 2-year-old to respond to instructions are: get rid of distractions before attempting to make a request or give directions. It is important to establish eye contact just to make sure you have their full attention. Certain situations warrant you to tell and not ask them. When you ask your child to do something, you imply that he has an option to say no. If you ask, "Can you please pick up the toys?" even the mildly oppositional child will say no. Instead, say, "Please pick up the toys now." Give 5 minutes warnings whenever possible. Instead of saying, "Tidy up right now," when your child is in the middle of playing, say, "In 5 minutes, it'll be time to stop playing and it'll be tidy up time." And then when those 5 minutes are past, say, "It's time to stop playing and tidy up now." In this respectful way, you give your child time to prepare and switch activities. Give one set of instructions for children, especially between 1 to 2-year-olds, where there's an attention issue. Usually only one small step instruction for children aged 1 to 2, and children aged 3 to 4 can handle 3 to 4 steps instructions or even a list. Ask your child to repeat your directions out loud. Often when you have a child say, you hear a child say "okay" or "yes," but they have no idea of what you've said. You can help your child further by keeping order and routine. This makes children feel much more safe and secure. Same schedules every day mean having a consistent nap times, meal times, bedtimes, as well as when your toddler is free to run and have fun. Be consistent. That's the key. When you say no hitting the first time your child smacks another in a playground, you also need to say no hitting the second time, third, fourth, till the child does not hit. Avoid stressful situations and potential meltdown scenarios with little advanced planning. Setting an egg timer for 5 minutes and saying that when it rings, it's time to do X. Stay calm when you're in the middle of watching your child throw a tantrum. Losing control will quickly escalate an already stressful situation. Know when to give in. Pick your battles. Certain things in a toddler's life are non-negotiable, but many other issues aren't worth the stress of an argument and should not be the clash of wills. Give positive reinforcement. Celebrate your child for being good. Reward good and acceptable behavior. When your child follows your direction, provide positive consequences to reinforce good behavior. Praise the compliance by saying something like, "Great job tidying up your room right when I asked you." Remember, eye contact, following through, and being consistent are the key to your child's listening. I hope these tricks and tips help your child to listen. with another question, I will pass on to Laura, and Laura's going to answer a question. What is the best age to start potty training?
Hi there. Okay, so this question is very, very common, especially to nursery teachers' ears or nursery managers' ears, and the answer is very differing. So studies would say from 18 months till 3 years, your child should be or will likely be potty trained. And that's quite true. So from 18 months onwards and up to about 3 years, your child might become potty trained. But it depends. Your child might be ready early. You need to look for the signs. Is your child indicating that they're wet? Are they touching the nappy? If they can speak, are they telling you, wee wee, poo poo? Are they indicating that their nappy is dirty and we need to go and change? What we need to think about is also, does your child have any developmental issues? That might take us a little bit longer. Are there any physical issues that stops us from accessing the toilet or the potty? If we're talking in terms of wetness, the nappy or the toilet training element probably would be done by the time they were 3 years. If we're talking about bowel movements, it might take a child up to their 4th year to be clean and dry all day. When we look to nighttime dryness, that might take your child up to around 5 years. Of course, this could happen much earlier with any of our children, but remember, each child's toilet training journey is very unique. So it might take a little longer, it might be a little bit speeded up, but what you need to recognize is that you're always there to support your child. At Jumeirah International Nurseries, all of our teachers are fully trained in toilet training, from potties to toilet seats, sit on lids or sat at the side of the toilet. Whatever stage your child is at, we're all here to help you. And the main things that you can remember is positive reinforcement, going to the washroom many, 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 many times throughout the day, and talking about it. Your child needs to understand that we're going to be removing the nappy. We're going to be transitioning to pull-ups. We're going to be going towards big girl or big boy pants. Celebrate those milestones with your child and with the rest of the family. Older siblings are a really great help here because your child will notice what's happening in the washroom. If you're comfortable, allow your child to come into the washroom with you when you yourself are visiting the toilet. Your child needs to see that it's a very normal thing to do and that everyone around them is doing it. Alongside that, help your child with healthy hints and tips for hand washing. Washing our hands after we've been through the washroom, using soap, drying our hands thoroughly, and getting ready for the next element in our day. So in short, to answer your question, your child will be ready for potty training when they indicate stages and signs for potty training, but usually we can expect that between 18 months and 3 years of age. Whilst we've been talking, another question came in from Mohammed, and he asked, how do I stop my children being on their phones all day long? This is a great question, and many of us are asking the same from ourselves. Often I'm asking this question from, how do I get my husband to stop being on his phone all day long? What we need is a distraction. We need alternatives. Your children are engaged with technology because technology is surrounding them. It's a huge part of their daily lives. They see mummy ordering the groceries on their phone. They see daddy ordering his car wash on his phone. They see uncle ordering an Uber on his phone. Of course, they're excited and motivated by technology, and technology is going to shape their future. So we must support our children with appropriate avenues and timings for technological access. However, all day long on the telephone, all day long on the tablet is really not going to support your child's development. We need our children to get outside into the great outdoors. We need our children to play games, and we need our children to engage with other adults and children. So what I suggest is having times that are suitable for your family for using the screen, whether that's television or your mobile or the tablet, that's up to you to decide, but you need to set a limitation. It should be age appropriate. For example, a child under 4 would not need to be looking at more than 30 minutes of screen time. I would say during the whole afternoon period. If you're at home with a child and they're awake from 5 o'clock in the morning until 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, 30 minutes doesn't seem like much, so I would suggest allowing twice in the day, once in the morning period and once in the afternoon period. Keep technology and screen time away from bedtime and make sure that there's at least 1 hour passes before they go to sleep away from technology. What you need to do is decide on a safe place that you're going to put the phones and tablets when you expect them not to be used. So a mobile phone is really close at hand for most of us. Mine is right in the screen here. But you need to show and set standards for your family. I would implement that with the adults in your household also. Have times when the mobile phones are not in reach and not in sight. And what I suggest is start playing games with the whole family. Board games, card games, football, games outside. Take a walk with the family, but you need to use a distraction or an alternative. We're going to head over to Miss Samina now for the next question. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Laura. The question that has been sent to me is how to prepare for FS1. That's the dilemma that a lot of parents, especially expats who come into Dubai, face when they start looking for schools for children. I would say the most important thing is to get your 3-year-old emotionally ready and excited about their new adventure. Over the years, we have seen that it is often the parents who are anxious, and we believe that children will take their lead from their mums and dads. The more children can visualize the unknown, the more prepared they will be. It's like planning an overseas holiday. You Google pictures of the places you want to visit and prepare for a journey. As a parent, encourage your 3-year-old to develop their independence. It is important for a child to experience an element of control. Children must be able to think for themselves, to allow independence, especially if they're going to school FS1. Try setting them up at a table, tidying them after themselves, being independent in personal hygiene and fully toilet trained during the day, wearing their uniform and changing for PE, water play and swimming. However, please know that these are mandatory for school FS1. However, if your child is coming to us at the nurseries, you don't have to worry. If your child can't do all these things before they start FS1, the nursery teachers and teaching assistants will help them learn these skills. So let them know what your child finds tricky. The flexibility is not offered at schools. Plan a date and help them make friends. Now, especially with all the health and safety protocols in place, remember that. Having friends is hugely beneficial for children. Those who have already been at a nursery will already be proficient in socializing. So do encourage your child to talk to other children at play sessions or at parks, or invite their friends over for a play date. Start a routine. It is so important. Practice the morning routine, including getting dressed, eating breakfast in time to leave. Also, work with your children to produce a visual timetable. It will also support them with their independence. To thrive in FS1, the best gift a parent can give a child is to spend quality time with them, talking to them, listening to them, and sharing experiences with them, encouraging them to take ownership of their belongings, reading to children and modeling imaginative and rich languages, inspiring your children to spend times outdoors to build core strengths of their bodies. Encourage mark making and giving meanings to the marks they make. I have a question here. I think one of the mums it's regarding one of the questions that we had spoken earlier about Laura, but don't worry, we're addressing a few more potty training issues, Nasril, and we will answer the questions, your question in that regarding the question you have about the child not using the potty and wanting the diaper. But as far as you've got the answers for how as a parent you can help in FS1, I'm going to ask Laura to answer the next question, which would be how to deal with insisting.
Hello, hi everyone. Okay, I'm going to jump to how do we deal with insisting in 1 minute. Nazreen, I'm talking directly to you and all the mummies asking this question out there. So many of our families and mummies are asking, but how do I get my child to go to the toilet to do a poo-poo? That's a very important question, and what we need to do is, it's not so simple, but it is going to take you a little time, but you work together and we'll work with you and we'll get there. So the important thing is to make sure that first your child is comfortable on the toilet itself. So whether you're sitting on a potty on the floor or whether you have a toilet seat, the toilet seat has to be the exact right size for your child's bottom. Your child needs to sit comfortably so they can truly relax. Their knees should be slightly raised. So if you have a small step, put that under their knees, because their body needs to be in a position where their bum is slightly lower and their knees are slightly higher. That's going to help with your digestive system, helping the toilet speed along there. So what you need to do is sit on the toilet for quite some time, because when you think that your child might need to go for a poo-poo, might not be when they're quite ready, or they might not know themselves. So ask them to come sit on the toilet, and I'm going to say it, bring a book, because you might be there for 15 minutes. You might be there for 20 minutes. You might be there for longer, but it'll happen. If your child is comfortable and if they're relaxed and the toilet seat is comfortable for their bottom, then they're going to be happy to sit there for a longer period. Once it happens, once the child gets comfortable with that bodily function, because let's not forget it's something unusual for the child to sit there on the toilet and do it, and not to do it whilst participating in another activity. So allow them that comfortable time, whether they want mommy to go with them, whether they want daddy to go with them, whether they want your nanny to go with them. It really depends on the day and on the mood, but try to make sure all of the adults are involved in the routine also. Lava asks us a question about how to get her toddler to eat the same types of food as mommy and daddy are eating. So this is really important. You want your child to become part of your family. You want your child to enjoy the mealtime together with you, and you want to offer them some of your foods. The best part is start with some of the foods that your child likes. Introduce your child into your routine. So it's going to be mealtime now, and we're going to come together and eat. But start with your child's foods. So the foods that your child enjoys eating or will eat. So mommy and daddy are going to have to eat quite simple and quite plain foods to start with. Start on a simple plain taste palette, or the palette that suits your child, and slowly add other foods onto the plate. So you're going to have a few items on your plate, and yes, mummies and daddies, aunties, uncles, nannies, there might be a little bit of extra cooking because you're going to have different portions for each family member, but slowly you're going to add the ingredients and the items onto the plates. For example, a child won't like a spicy or savory or flavorful rice if they've only ever tried plain rice. So slowly introduce some of your seasoning. Step by step, get towards the flavors that you and your family love and enjoy. In lots of households, we add chilies. In lots of households, we add different curry powders, masalas, spice mixes. And whilst we love them, our child's palate might not be ready for them yet. If your child is under 2, they're going to be experiencing many of the tastes for the very first time. A child might take up to 15 times of eating a food or tasting of a food before they can decide whether they truly like or do not like that food. Perhaps you can remember from yourself when you were a child. Did you enjoy the taste of olives? Did you like the taste of mustard? Were those tastes that you enjoyed? Or perhaps you acquired a taste for them later in life. Are there foods that you still don't like, but you're asking your child to eat them? Are there foods that perhaps you and your husband don't really like? Think about your food palette, think about your child's food palette, and try to take it one day at a time. Always approach your nursery teacher or your nursery manager for tips and tricks, and look to your family and extended family for meals and mealtime suggestions. Okay, let's get back to our question that we had regarding insisting. Many of our children insist on certain things. They want this now, they don't want to do this, they don't want to do that. And whilst that's very normal, as an adult, we need to decide, what are they insisting on? Is it important enough that we have to abide by the adult's rules? Or is it something that we can allow? For example, if you insist that your child holds your hand while crossing a busy road, this isn't up for negotiation. Your child must hold your hand. So you've got to talk them through it. You've got to talk to them about the reasons behind wanting to hold their hand, the reasons behind why we need to get across the street safely. Your child insisting is expressing themselves, and that's something critical. Your child needs to be able to express themselves to trusted members of their family and community. If your child can express no, they're actually achieving one of their early milestones. Your teachers will be delighted at the first time that they're told no. And that's because your child is giving their expression, telling you how they feel about something. For the first year in a child's life, they often feel like a passenger, guided by the teacher, who is the bus driver, or mummy or daddy, who's driving the car. But once they have the ability to express themselves, they find ownership. I can tell my mummy what I'd like to do. I can indicate to daddy what I'd like to do. So we need to understand why. But we need to set some defined and clear markers of things that we have to do and must do, but we need to use positive, reinforcing language. I was so proud today when you held my hand when we crossed the street. I was so happy that you brushed your teeth. Your teeth are fresh and clean, and they're going to be white. I was so pleased when you listened to Daddy today and you picked up all of your toys. Sometimes the insisting will come and you've got to stop and pause and listen to everything that your child is saying and spend time with them. Help them with that cognitive puzzle. Your child has not developed enough cognition to be able to understand and reason certain situations and circumstances. So you have got to be their compass, guide them in which direction you want them to go. Now, yes, insisting might come at inappropriate times or situations when you think, gosh, really, right now, but still take that time. Whether it's in the middle of the supermarket, you're in Carrefour and your child is insisting you buy the most gigantic teddy on the shelf and you really have 10,000 teddies at home. Or you're in the park and your child is insisting that they won't go home until you've let them taste the sand. You've got to decide, be that positive parent, be that affirming role model. Stop, get down to their level and talk them through what they're insisting on. And sometimes the insisting might be right. They insist, I just need 5 more minutes cuddle time. Let them get away with that one. We all love 5 more minutes cuddle time. Okay, I'm going to hand you back over to my co-host Samina, and we're going to find out about the next question. Ooh, this is an interesting one. If my child has a bad habit, how do I stop it? Let's find out.
I really wish the parent who sent us this question was a bit more specific as to what bad habit they want to rectify, because there can be different solutions for different bad habits. But I will answer this question by addressing what are habits? How do children develop habits? What can you do to cope with the habits? And what is a habit? When is a habit no longer a habit? A habit is a pattern of behaviors that's repeated. The child doing it usually isn't aware of it. But while children may be blissfully unaware of a habit, us parents aren't so lucky. Some habits that develop in children early on are nose picking, nail biting, thumb sucking, or behavioral traits like stubbornness and yelling. What causes habits to develop? Experts aren't always sure what causes the habits to develop, but we do know that they are learned behaviors that usually provide positive outcome for the child. Habits may develop as an entertainment for a bored child, or commonly as a coping mechanism to soothe an anxious one. The good news is that most habits disappear, usually by the time the child reaches school age, because the child no longer needs them, and he or she outgrows. What do you do as a parent to cope with your child's habits? If you think it's time to help your child break a habit, try these 4 strategies. Number 1, calmly point out what you don't like about the behavior and why. If your child is between 3 to 4 years old, this will help increase awareness of the problem, the issue at hand, the habit you think the child shouldn't have and the child isn't aware of. The number 2, involve your child in the process of breaking the habit. Ask your child what they think they could do to stop the habit. Come up with some ways on breaking the unwanted habit together. It's important you have the child on board when you want to break that habit. Number 3, suggest complementary behaviors. This will increase awareness of the habit and may serve as a reminder. The 4th and a very important one is reward and praise self-control. Reinforce positive behaviors by praising them and giving them a sticker or a small prize. And because habits take time to develop, remember, they're also going to take a time to be replaced by alternative behavior, so be patient. When is a habit no longer a habit? A habit may no longer be simple habit if it negatively affects a social relationship of your child and interferes with daily functioning. If you're concerned about your child's habit, talk to your child's class teacher or talk to your child's pediatrician and get professional help. If you think these strategies will not work and you've tried them, what is very important is to remember that it has taken a while for your child to develop those habits, and it's going to take a long while for your child to break out of it. The key is consistency. Laura has, and I hope it helps you sort out your child's bad habit. And what we have now is a question. I think that parents would really want to hear what are the tricks and tips we have in store. How can I manage and deal with tantrums? I'll pass over to Laura now to answer that.
Hi there. So tantrums, they happen to all of us. Don't worry, nobody's exempt. The general manager, the nursery manager, the pediatrician, all children have tantrums. Actually, many of us have tantrums. You just don't see them. So the first thing that I would do is give you the advice of patience, patience, patience in triplicate, in quadruple form. You need a lot of patience, because what we need to do is slow time down and find out what's going on. Why does your child feel that? What are they having a tantrum about? Try to understand what has triggered this emotion, what has triggered this bodily expression. The tantrum might not be verbalized, it might be a physical movement, it might be crouching in a ball on the floor, it might be exploding with different language, but your child has felt something. And again, like I discussed when we were talking about insisting, it's that cognitive processing. Your child needs help in understanding what are they feeling. Many actual adults find difficulties in expressing how they're feeling, and we expect our children to be able to behave and not experience tantrums and not experience bad moods, but that's not right. What we need to do is support our children into understanding, why do they feel like they feel? What happened? Now, sometimes we might not be aware of what happened, so we might need to really dig deep and look around us and try and investigate what happened. But if we know what happened, it's time to stop and it's time to talk. Talk through how you think that your child is feeling. I can see that you're feeling angry. I can feel that you're upset. I can see that you've made fists of your hands because you're feeling uncomfortable. I can see that your eyebrows have furrowed because you're feeling cross. I can see that there's sadness. I can feel that there's sadness. I can understand that something is wrong. The child needs to know that you've recognized something, that you've understood this emotion. Now we need to use that emotion. Why are they feeling that way? What happened? What do we need to do to get to the next stages? How do we need to unpack what's just happened? And how do we get beyond it? It's something that all of us can help ourselves with trying to stop in the moment and understand what are we feeling and why are we feeling it. But with children, adults need to intervene. Adults need to support the child to get to the next stages. So explain to them, I can see that the friend took your toy. I can understand that that might make you feel sad. Let's talk to the other child. Let's get a toy back for you. Why don't we take a different toy? Would this be a good option? Try to distract your child. If the tantrum is continuing, try to distract your child. Try to send their attention to something different. Try to remove any other triggers in the room. So if they've had a very, very large squabble with an older sibling, let's perhaps take the older sibling out of the equation. Give your child a chance to have the tantrum, feel the feeling, use that emotion. And then let's later, once your child has calmed a little, let's talk to the older sibling. In front of your child, talk to your older sibling and say, when you took your brother's toy, he felt angry. He felt annoyed because you took the toy. The older sibling might understand what they've done and how the other child would be feeling, but they might not. But the younger child will appreciate that you've involved both of them in the discussion. Tantrums are normal. Tantrums are a huge part of a child's life, but tantrums can be seen also in a positive way. It's your child expressing an emotion. Yes, a very large emotion, and it's our job to help them understand it, but nevertheless, expressing an emotion. Samina is going to help us with our next question, which is, my child is a very picky eater. How can I change that?
Thank you, Laura. Adding to what you had to say about picky eaters and food, picky eating is common among young children. In fact, statistics shows that 50% of children are reported as picky eaters by their parents and caregivers. Much of what we consider picky eating is actually normal developmental behavior when children assert their independence by controlling what they eat and being wary of new foods. To support your picky eater, set realistic expectations. Nutrition science research suggests that it takes about 10 to 15 exposures to any given food to put it in a category of food they like. An average parent just tries 4 to 5 times before declaring that their child is a picky eater. So parents, you have to keep trying, and you have to try for 10 to 15 times. Put too much pressure on a child to like a food right away pushes the child to put it into a box, I don't like it. And it becomes tougher for the next exposure to go well. So when introducing a new food, one school of thought says to let your children play with their food. The food on the plate doesn't necessarily have to go in the mouth. If vegetables are moved around, pulled apart with fingers, or food is sniffed, then at least your child is getting more familiar with the looks and the feel of the food. Children who are allowed non-tasting activities with their food are more likely to choose these food groups and eat better at the later stages in their lives. It takes patience and consistency to develop healthy eating habits. What can you do to involve your children? Try meal preps. It's a process that entices them to chow down. Get their help in planning weekly menus. Bring them along to the supermarket to pick out ingredients. Let them assist in the kitchen. Cute aprons are an added bonus. Start with very small portions. Be upfront about the ingredients. If you've got spinach in their smoothie, let them know that's what it is in it. Scale back on snacks and drinks. Keep a food diary, especially for the new foods that your children are starting. Harness the power of pairs. You'll always find one child who grabs your child's banana. The moment they do it, your child has it and they have a nibble at it. Separate behavior issues from picky eating. Don't prepare separate meals. Eat the meals that the family is eating together. It's very important if that's what you want for your child. Because making separate individual meals, especially when they have started completely weaning, is adding to the picky eating. Feed their imagination by turning simple ingredients and techniques into adorable meals that will wow your picky eater. I've got some pictures here to show you, and have the food as bear in the ground. Have monkey, swinging monkey with marshmallows. Have winging, let's wing it with butterfly. Have make the birds in the nest with a tree and carrots, and it's got mozzarella, and make a clock. Make robots, and have a garden scene. And I'm sure your children will enjoy the food. Relax, enjoy it, and make meal times a positive experience for your children. We've got a next question here now. It says, how to prepare my twins to be in separate classes in big schools. How to handle if one twin is dominating over the other twin at times. And Laura's going to answer that question for you.
Thank you, Samina. Okay, well, if anybody makes that lunchbox robot, I need you to send me a photograph because I cannot wait to see it. Nisha, thank you for the question about the twins. So this time we've got to take a big leap, and we're going to school, and your twins are going to be in separate classes. Schools do this for us to help your child, to help the children develop their individual identity. The children, the twins, can now start thinking about themselves as me, not just as us. It's very important that the identity of the twins and the unique celebration of twins is celebrated, but also your child needs to have that special individual identity, and your school journey is going to help you with that. Something very special to begin talking about is the fact that both of your children, so speak to them individually, you're going to have a brand new teacher just for you. You're going to have a special backpack just for you. You're going to have new toys in your own classroom that only you will be playing with. You're going to have new friends and new teaching assistants just for you. The children need to feel that unique celebration of them as an individual, their new adventures and their new goals, and some information and some exciting journeys that they can take back and share with their brother or sister, share with their twin. But it's important, as soon as you come back into the home environment, celebrate them being together. We understand that twins have special feelings and special deeper connections that even siblings don't. And we cannot feel the same emotions that a twin can feel. Twins have been together since they were created, since the womb. All they've known is being together. So we have to help them celebrate a unique journey going to school, but then remember and celebrate and applaud them coming back together and telling their brother or their sister about the exciting things that they did that day. Once you go to big school, if you're a twin or if you're mommy and daddy of twins, what you need to do is different clothes, different backpacks, different pencil cases, different shoes. You've got to help them taking that different role. There might be a similar style of backpack, but give them a different color. We all know that twinning is winning, but keep twinning to the evenings and to the weekends. In school, you've got to help them reinforce their own positive identity. Twins are having twins in your family is a very, very wonderful and magical thing. And it's a roller coaster when they need to be separated for school. So reach out to others for support and for guidance. Don't do it alone. And if you're heading to big school, talk to your nursery teachers, talk to your nursery manager about what it's going to be like, about what you might be feeling. And make sure you have your nursery manager's email at hand. And even if we get those midnight emails, we'll be happy to respond. Okay, let's head back to Miss Samina for our next question. This is a great one. How to potty train a 3-year-old who is not interested in potty training at all? No, thank you. Let's find out from Samina.
If you feel as though your 3-year-old is the last kid in the classroom to master the potty, you're not alone. Rest assured, there is nothing wrong with your child. He or she is just one of the late potty trainers. Recent research indicates that only 40 to 60% of children are fully toilet trained by 36 months. Most children are ready to begin potty training between the age of 2 and slightly after their 3rd birthday. About 50% of boys are trained by age of 3, while 66% of girls are trained by that age. Potty training path your child follows, irrespective of age, will likely to be based on temperament, developmental readiness, interest, and even gender. Even though by age of 3, your child does not show interest in his or her potty, try to stay positive. Very important. Know that regardless of the tactics used, your child is mostly going to dictate how quickly the potty training goes. Don't succumb to the pressure that your child needs to be potty trained by 3 if he has to join school in FS1. Remember, nurseries don't have that requirement and will provide your 3-year-old one-on-one support whenever he or she is developmentally ready. To begin, make diaper changing very businesslike. At 3, as it's time to transition the behavior from going to the bathroom. No more cuddling around or playing games when diaper changing. To combat the fear of pooping in the potty, show your child there is no danger versus just telling your child. You can't rationalize with a 3-year-old about this. Let your child see you on the potty and point out that you are just fine. When accidents happen, keep your reaction neutral. You might say, "Oh, well, we didn't make it to the potty this time. We'll keep trying." This helps develop your child's confidence. If your investment in the issue may be causing him or her to dig in heels, drop the issue. Try in 2 months. 2 months is a very long time in the life of a 3-year-old. When you bring it up 2 months later, let them be in charge of the process. Know that you have to provide the structure, the potty, and the encouragement, but your child has to want to do it. So let it not be battle of wills. Let it not be that your friend's child is potty trained and yours is not. Let it not be that your child is the last child in the classroom. The statistics is there to support him. He's not alone. So relax and let him develop at his pace. Thank you very much. Laura has a question, a very interesting question on how can I inculcate a love for books in my child at this age?
Thank you, Samina. Okay, so it's really, really important to all of us that our children love books, love reading, love literature. What we need to do is fill your home with literature, magazines, newspapers if you can find them, leaflets, instruction manuals, cookbooks, novels. Fill your home with literature, not just for your child, but for you. Be a role model. If you buy a new cabinet from IKEA, use the instruction manual in front of your child. Show them, look at this picture. This text is telling me what to do. Use the cookbook with your child. Your child needs to see that mummies, daddies, aunties, uncles are role models. They're also excited to learn from books. Buy your child an encyclopedia, a children's encyclopedia at a very young age. They'll be looking to the pictures, they'll be looking to the images, but they'll understand at a later date that the text that they can see will help them understand more about something. You'll soon find them asking, "What's this? What's this?" When it's time to begin reading, there's two schools of thought. You might like to introduce wordless books, books that contain pictures and you follow along the story verbally. But I advocate for the opposite. Start with the text. begin with books that have text. Mummy, read it for me. Daddy, help me read. Your child needs to understand the words, the characters, the symbols that they see in front of them have meaning, and they're going to help them in their day-to-day life. Something that will help you along with this, mummies and daddies, our friends at Booktopia have very kindly given us a discount code. Now, Booktopia is based in the UAE, and they have a wonderful selection of books for children of all ages and toys and resources. And what they've actually done is they've given us a 20% discount. So the code is BT-JINS, so Booktopia Jumeirah International Nursery School, BT-JINS 20, and that will get you 20% of your full bill. Take a look at the books that they have on offer, and the customer service at Booktopia is absolutely fantastic. This is a plug from me as a mummy, having bought lots of books for my daughter from Booktopia. The next question that we're going to go ahead and answer will be for Miss Samina. And what the question asks is, oh, this is a good one. How can we protect our kids, our children, from the psychological effects of COVID and the lack of human-to-human normal interactions? This is something really challenging that we're all already facing this year, certainly. So let's head over to Samina, and she'll help us answer that one.
It is a very important question, especially in these unprecedented times. COVID has forced most of us to review, rethink the way we function, and has brought courage, learning, and collaboration to the front. It's very important to remember them, that we are all in it together, and that we are all courageous, and we're all learning new ways, and we're all collaborating together. We know that children have had constrained access to socialization, play, and physical contact, which is critical for their psychosocial well-being and development. As a parent or a caregiver, we need to promote an environment where children can grow and develop to their full potential, having fun and being safe and healthy. Facilitate a space where children are listened to. They can express their thoughts and feelings and are free to ask any questions and are answered honestly. Know that all emotions are valid, and give your children opportunities to talk about what they are feeling, difficulties in sleeping and eating, nightmares, being withdrawn or aggressive, complain of pain in stomach or headache without physical reason, having fears, being afraid to be left alone, clinging, depending behavior, new fears manifest, for example, instance of dark, they don't like to be in the dark, decreased interest in playing and engaging in playful activities, being sad, crying more than usual for no apparent reason. As adults, we need to reassure our children that you are there and you are prepared to keep them safe. Provide them with correct information through valid sources, and keep it simple and appropriate for each age, for the child's age. Create flexible and consistent daily routines and schedules. Give genuine and frequent praise for their strengths, such as behaving well, showing courage, compassion, and helpfulness. Make up for the lack of physical and personal, social and emotional interaction, and find time daily to connect with your family and friends online. We've got a lot of mediums, both in Teams, Skype, WhatsApp, FaceTime. Consciously plan these times and play family team games. Guess who says, or Simon says, dumb charades, or even engage in family monopoly. This way, you can help your children protect from the psychological effects that COVID has had due to not interacting and not having too much of human-to-human interaction. I've got there's a question that's just come in, and we'd like to answer. I'd like Laura to answer is my child ready for a big school? That's one of the most important questions a lot of parents do ask, especially now we're coming towards the end of the term 3, and it's time to choose schools for your children if you haven't already. So the big question is nursery or schools. Laura.
Thank you, Samina. So Some things that you might want to think about in getting your child on the way to big school is how differing the two environments are. Your nursery is a much smaller environment with a smaller cohort of children and a closer family feel. Schools are amazing in Dubai. You have a luxury of many, many opportunities, but the school is going to be big. There's a lot of space, there's a lot of equipment, there's a lot of facilities for your child to explore and discover, and they're going to be the small fish in the giant pond. So let's equip them. If your child is going to school, there's a few things that they really need to be able to do. The first one is carry their own bag. You might think, but the bag is so full. It's got their lunchbox, it's got their water bottle, it's got everything that they need for the day. That's right. But in a school environment, you won't have somebody to assist them. So you need to make sure that you're packing suitable items for that day and that your child can carry that bag independently. The second thing is the washroom habits. It's important that your child is fully toilet trained if they're heading off to big school. If they actually have an accident in the school, a toilet related accident, they would need you to come and collect them. If you're thinking that my child isn't quite ready, we're not fully toilet trained, your nursery can still support you. And most of our nurseries are transitioning towards early learning centres, and we'll be actually adding an FS2 department into our nursery setting. So we'll be able to help you for a further year if you so wish and you require. With the school setting, something that you need to think about also is, can my child eat independently? Are they able to understand that they are hungry, it is time to eat, and I should eat by myself? When you're on your school journey, your children will be required to put on their shoes, to put on their socks, to take off their shoes, to take off their socks. Do they have those simple but sometimes complex skills, such as buttoning buttons on their cardigan or their skirt? Are they able to do that independently? If not, now is the time to make sure that they are ready. If you are heading off on a school journey, be in contact with your nursery teacher. Talk about the goals and milestones that we need to work together to achieve so that they are ready for school. And if you think that in these few short months that we have before the school starting in September, that your child isn't in fact ready for that environment, talk to your nursery today, because we're able to support you with a full-time place from morning through to the late afternoon with your dedicated team of nursery professionals and your nursery family. We'll help you in whichever direction that you want to go, but be sure that those skills are supported and ready in your child so that their adventure begins on the right step. Another question that's just come in from Rashna, she's asking, how can we help manage separation anxiety at home to help children settle well in the nursery? This is important because in many cases, particularly now during the COVID pandemic, your children have only been with you. They haven't been with others. They haven't spent time outside the home because you've worried for the safety and the health of your family. So it's time to start. What we need to do is we need to get your children into different environments. Go to the park, go to areas early in the morning. Perhaps you might take a trip to the mall, but go first thing when it opens so it is quiet. Don't go late in the evenings when it's full. Find areas and find new places that you can go together and help your child discover and explore new things. Once you're comfortable, begin introducing your friends and extended family to your children. Ask them to come in the home. Ask them to come and visit you. Spend time together as a family, but then mummy might need to go to the washroom, or mummy might need to go and make a cup of tea, or mummy might need to go and make a phone call, and the phone call extends to 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Begin slowly, but make sure throughout that you're expressing what is happening with your child. Mummy is going to make a telephone call. You're here with grandma, surrounded by all of your toys, and your brother is here. Mummy's going to make that phone call. I'll be back. Now, at first, there might be tears and unrest, but what your child needs to understand is that you are coming back. You won't be leaving them. Mummy will return after her phone call, and cuddles will be given, and love will be given, and she'll talk to you about what you've been doing. Your child needs to understand that mummy might go away or daddy might go away for a period of time, but you're absolutely coming back. It's very difficult for a child to understand you leaving without you fully explaining it to them. That's what we ask in the nursery. We ask you to leave your child and tell them Mummy's going now. I'll just do some groceries and I'll be back in a little while. Or Mummy will attend her meetings. Or Daddy's going to do his meetings and then he'll pick you up and then we'll go to the park. Your child needs to understand that you are there to support them and that the nursery is there for them to have fun and explore. But at the end of the day, Daddy or Mummy or Nanny will always be there to come and collect them. Our next question goes to Miss Samina, and it's asking a really, really challenging one. How do I juggle the different needs of all of my children? Samina, you have several children. Can you help us out with this one?
Yeah, it is a very important question, which mothers find it difficult, especially to have few children and to juggle to all the needs. It's very important. All of us might not have answers, but it's good to share each other's experiences with each other. I mean, how can I do it all is one single question that haunts most of us as moms with multiple children. However, the definition of all, I'm sure you all will agree, lies in the eyes of the beholder. As a mother of two and having run the early years operation at JINS now for 17 years, I know that children grow the challenges. As children grow, the challenges and the challenges change that the parents are facing. Though the change is sure to evolve the thinking of a mum, but at the same time, we also need to find the right balance within our households to maintain our sanity. If change is constant in your life, then your approach to it should remain steady, firm, and loving. It is important that you calibrate your own expectations about what your children are capable of doing independently, and then extend your support to help them learn through their experiences. There is no right way to raise a child or children. You can begin by determining the basic needs of your family. The basic needs include eating, sleeping, hygiene, loving interaction with parents. Once these are met, we can branch out and begin to incorporate the other areas. After you have found basic needs of your children, it's time to note individual needs. Basically, they require to be happy, healthy, and well adjusted. Some need a lot of touch from you. Others need alone time with you. Some need alone time with themselves. In all, remember yourself and your time with your partner in crime. With the basics, individual needs outlined, it's time to slot these into routines so you are sure to fit all that is on your list for your day. To set a routine, you can be a clock watcher or set time to complete your chores and have a consistent daily schedule of things that need to be addressed based on your children's needs. You have it all covered: the basic needs, the individual needs, the routines, and the schedules. It's finally time to enjoy, be loving and transparent, and simply be present with your children. As you go along at each step, watch out for red flag behaviors or the meltdowns. The moment these hit ground zero, immediately troubleshoot. Please remember to ask for help if you need, from your partner, extended family, friends, if need be, professionals. It's okay to seek refuge. It's tricky to manage multiple children, ourselves and the household. But starting off by knowing that what is most important and prioritizing it will surely help. In short, do your best, trust yourself, and enjoy the company of small people in your life. I think with that, we've answered our last question on our Tricky Thursday session. On behalf of Jumeirah International Nurseries, I would like to thank you for your attendance to our first Tricky Thursday session and for sending all your questions. We hope that this session has been helpful and we have answered your questions and provided you insight that you need to support your beautiful children. Before we say goodbye, I would like to thank our moderators once again, Christina, Regine, and Mohammed, and my co-panelist, Laura, for making this possible. We will be back soon with our second Tricky Thursday session with a different team of panelists and continue in our endeavor to support you in developing holistic, competent learners. Thank you and have a lovely afternoon.
Stay safe. Take care.
Bye.